should be, it's good. Perfect.
again. I'm super excited.
Good morning, everyone. Great to see a room full of people here in the House of Labor. So again, I want to welcome everyone. My name is Brad McIntavage. I'm business manager for Boilermakers Local 13. And we are so excited to welcome Governor Walz to the home of labor. Yes. We are just 5 days away from Election Day, and a very important one at that. It's closer than ever. The stakes are higher than ever, and we have to fight harder than ever, but I'm feeling good. And I'll tell you why. 2 nights ago, in front of over 75,000 people, Vice President Kamala Harris delivered her closing argument. She laid out her plan to turn the page on Donald Trump and to chart a new way forward that will build an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the tippy top. Trump gave his closing argument in New York, where he pushed the same tired, diversive playbook that we all know well. When it came to explaining how he was going to deliver for us, he gave us a whole lot of nothing. This election is about the candidate that will work for you and work for us. Vice President Harris is focused on her to-do list, lowering costs for families, helping create over 25 million new small businesses, and of course, standing up for Pennsylvania workers and unions. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is looking for billionaires and large corporations. Trump has laid out his Project 2025 agenda that will raise costs on Pennsylvania families by nearly $4,000 a year, undermining unions and weakening the middle class. Governor Walz is here today at Local 13 because he and Vice President know that unions are the backbone of the American economy. And they are going to stand up for us every day in the White House, including fighting to finally pass the PRO Act. Yes. The choice for workers is simple. If you have not voted yet, it's not too late. Encourage your neighbors, friends, and families to make a plan to vote at iwillvote.com/PA. Because when we vote, we win. With that being said, it is now my great honor to welcome a fearless fighter for working families and next Vice President of the United States of America, Governor Kim Walz.
Thank you for being here. Wow. Well, good morning, everybody. That's it. Thank you. Well, I said I like football and voting. That's the shirt of the day. There you go. So, well, good to be back, Pennsylvania. Good to be with you. Brad, thank you for the kind introduction. More importantly, thank you to Local 13 for the work you do building the middle class. Thank you. Really great. It's always good to be with the Boilermakers, and I say that to you as a proud dues-paying member of my state's education association. So, I often start and say our states have a lot in common. Super Bowl rings are not one of them. So. Maybe this year, but I don't know. Our states do have a lot in common, though. The iron mines of the Iron Range of Minnesota fueled the steel mills here in Pennsylvania, and we built the country by the hard work of folks in the middle class and those in labor. So I want to say thank you to them. All of you here, it's a beautiful day out here. They just told me it's snowing in Minnesota, so things feel normal. We're ready. Well, look, you could have been anywhere. You got stuff to do. You got families. You got all those things doing. But you chose to come here because you love this country, and thank you for that. So. Well, I know you're like me. We're ready to get this thing done. 5 days left, folks. 5 days left. So we're now inside 120 hours to this election. But when do you get a chance in 120 hours to make a positive impact on future generations to come, like we're going to do? Now, I know this is hard for all the folks in here. There's still folks thinking about this, trying to make up their mind. And I know you've heard it from folks. Well, I really can't stand Trump personally. And you're like, no kidding. But then they say, but his economy was pretty good, and he did good stuff for us. Now, yeah, I think there's a little bit fuzzy on the history here. So let's just take a moment to level set this thing. 4 years ago with Donald Trump, we had lost 2.7 million jobs, including 275,000 jobs in Pennsylvania alone. Unemployment was way up, and Donald Trump had so badly botched the COVID pandemics, we were out there fighting with our neighbors to get toilet paper. That's the Trump economy. So look, if you were a billionaire like his good buddy Elon Musk, things were really good because you got a tax cut, the rest of us got screwed. That's the way it worked during that time. Now, Elon says he is going to be, and Trump says it, he's going to be Trump's economy czar. Now, he says to make the economy work better, we're going to have to crash it first in order to save it. Now, he told you, get ready. Elon said, American folks, you're going to go through some hardships. Now, you tell me, what the hell does the richest man on earth know about hardship? But he promised to do this. He said they're going to cut $2 trillion in spending. Now, remember, Donald Trump's the king of debt, ran up more debt than ever, bankrupted his own company 6 times, brags. His own words said, I'm the king of debt. Elon says the way we get a handle on this is to cut $2 trillion in discretionary spending. You know how much this country spends right now each year on discretionary spending? $1.6 trillion. So that leaves you absolutely no other option than to going to cut Social Security and Medicare and the things that we care most about. That's what they're going to do. So we're going to win. So we're going to win. Now, They said it. They said, Elon said, we'll go after Medicare and Social Security, but just this week, and at least they're saying the quiet stuff out loud now, and at least they're saying it before the election so that we have no excuse that we don't know. They're telling us who they are. The Speaker of the House said they're going to go after Obamacare and change that if Trump's elected. All right. We know that they're going to try and get rid of it because we know they've done it before. And what that means to you is what Obamacare did, amongst all others, it changed the whole mechanism that put you in charge of your health care, that meant insurance companies couldn't kick you off for a pre-existing condition, and they had to pay it. Trump ran on it. They tried 60 times to overturn it. The last one, the only reason we still have it is one vote in the Senate when John McCain walked in there with courage and said no, no. So let's just be clear to those folks who say, oh, I kind of like Trump, but he kind of knows me or whatever. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump know nothing about working class people other than how to take advantage of them. That's the only thing they know. And for all of you in this room, they know nothing about manufacturing. The only thing these guys manufacture is bullshit on a daily basis. On a daily basis. So the reason they're at their closing arguments, they never talk about you. Donald Trump talks about himself because that's the only person he's concerned with. They are not worried about what happens to the middle class because he's not thinking about you at all. Now look, I get it. Folks are tired. They're stressed out. They're sick as hell of this campaign. I join you in that these are the way these go. But look, it's a privilege and it's got to be done. But there's a remedy to this. There's a remedy to the anxiety. There's a remedy to the stress or whatever. Get out and vote for Kamala Harris and let's put an end to this on the other side. There's so many reasons to beat Donald Trump, but just for a moment, in your quiet moment of your soul, think about how joyful it will be when we beat this guy and you turn on your TV or the news or open the newspaper and we don't have to hear from him or see him again on this. That's what's coming. 5 days. 5 days to 5 days to turn the page on this guy and to elect a new generation of leadership. Under Kamala Harris, Pennsylvania created over 560,000 jobs, including 28,000 manufacturing jobs. Those are facts. And she sat on the mall the other day and spoke and looked like a president and talked about unifying this country, and she laid out a list of what we're going to do going forward. Because she told you on that day, and you know she will do it, she's going to go into the White House with a to-do list, not an enemies list. That's a big difference. Starts with lowering costs for families and putting more money back in your pocket. That is the priority every single day. For starters, we'll enact the first ever federal price gouging ban on groceries. Now, so everybody, I hear people say, well, what's that about? Here's a couple examples of price gouging. We got a hurricane coming. They're telling you to get the heck out of Florida, and airline tickets went through the roof. That's not capitalism. That's not free market. That's unethical taking care of. That's price gouging, just so you know. And, oh, grocery prices are up. Well, guess what? Our farmers, my farmers in Minnesota, when grocery prices were lower, they were getting about $4 a bushel for corn. Now grocery prices are really high, and farmers are getting about $4 a bushel for corn. You get it. That's price gouging. 37 states, Democrats and Republicans have laws in that. She'll do that. And then we'll focus the tax cuts on the middle class. 100 million Americans get a tax cut. The single best tax cut that you make that reduces childhood poverty at a rate unseen is a child tax credit. We propose $6,000 for the first year of that child's life to Americans. And when it comes to health care and Medicare prices and finally getting a handle on this, capping insulin at $35, and just so you know why that's such a big deal, buying insulin is not like buying a new pair of shoes. If you don't get it, you die. And we know there's cases, because it happened in Minnesota. A young man aged out of his parents' insurance. He started rationing his insulin, and he died of insulin shock. The issue is that when you cap it at $35, they were charging $800 before that. It cost $5 to make it. They're still going to do just fine in the pharmaceutical industry. Trust me, they're going to be just fine. Now, Kamala also proposed this. Medicare, young people in here, yeah, you're not, so if you're pretty young, you're like thinking about it. if you're 60, you think about Medicare like half the day because you're wondering about it. Because you're like, I got to know I'm going to pay my bills. Some of you know how this works. Well, Medicare is incredible, along with Social Security, anti-poverty program, but we can make it better. And she proposed having Medicare pay for home health care services so you can stay in your home. Smart. Couple that, and I think, until I got to, some of you don't know this, Medicare does not pay for your glasses or your hearing aids. We propose making sure that's part of it so you can live a fuller life. Makes a difference. And to some of the younger folks in here, we need to make home ownership more affordable to you by making sure that you have down payment assistance. And let's be very clear. Senator Vance, a few weeks back, when asked about why homes are so expensive, he said because the immigrants are all buying them. And you and I are all thinking, well, where the hell are they getting the money? Because I don't have it. You know, how is this working out? The real reason is speculators like him and folks that are venture capitalists buy up all the homes, jack up the prices, and make it more difficult for us to get in. Kamala's talking about building 3 million more new homes, having $25,000 down payment assistance. And then for those of you who want to start your American dream, making sure that you get access to the capital necessary and you get a $50,000 tax credit to start that new business and get off the ground. That's the way. We'll get it back. Your business will thrive. You'll create new jobs. Two more things about this economy that we get asked, well, how are you going to pay for this? When I said, well, for starters, we'll have Donald Trump pay his taxes, which he hasn't done. Easy enough. But look, you know this, in this part of Pennsylvania, in a place that understands the impact of where we're standing in a union hall, we understand this. It's as simple as this. When unions are strong, the middle class is strong. When the middle class is strong, America's strong. In Minnesota, as governor, it helps to have a card-carrying union member in charge of things. That made a difference. But in Minnesota, we passed the largest pro-worker and pro-union package in history. We did things, made it easier to form a union, strengthened worker protections and safety, and then we did something that we need to do across this country. We banned captive audience meetings where they try and put it on there. Union members know what this is. It's where your company takes you in, puts you in a room, and threatens your livelihood if you join the union. That is crap. You need to have the ability to choose your own path forward on that. And if it's to join a union, then join the union, because we know the difference it makes. Kamala said, to make that easier, she'll sign the PRO Act into law, making sure that happens in the growth. Now look, talking to Brad, we can cut red tape. Government can be more efficient and faster at making sure we're able to build faster. Eliminating things like unnecessary degree requirements, we did this in Minnesota, making sure that there are more than 500,000 federal jobs that should be open to you. If you have the skills to do the job, you should get the job without having to jump through a hoop to get it. And we did it in Minnesota, and more people in the middle class. And for the folks who built things here in America, making sure that countries like China don't undermine these investments by making sure that our fair trade practices are upheld and enforced. So look, it's a plan. We're damn proud of it. It's not a damn concept of a plan. It's real, and it's out there. Now, I've misspoken, said they don't have a plan or a concept of a plan. They do have a plan. It's Project 2025, and it's 900 pages. It's 900 pages. Those folks in here, I said, well, they pretend we don't know anything about it. They took the time to research this, make it. Senator Vance wrote the foreword of the book of the guy who was the architect of it. I had never written a foreword to somebody's book, but I think I'd remembered if I did, you know. But oh no, they're like dodging. Here's what I know as a football coach. You take the time to make a playbook, you're going to run the plays. Yes. And this playbook is a goddamn nightmare for the middle class. It's a nightmare. So for all the labor folks in here, repeals the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, costing hundreds of thousands of new jobs. Brad just talked about this. Included in there were things like the hydrogen hub that's going to create tens of thousands of new jobs for Boilermakers right here in Pennsylvania. They're talking about taking that money back. When Senator Vance got asked and said in Lansing, Michigan, that act created 625 UAW jobs in Lansing, Michigan, they talk about taking that back, and he said that is table scraps. Well, you tell those 625 United Auto Workers that put food on their table with those jobs that that's table scraps. That's what their plan is. He also is talking about putting a national sales tax on everything. things to buy, every clothes, food, toys, whatever you buy, $4,000 a year that it adds to your family. Now look, this dude's nearly 80 years old. He damn near killed himself getting into a garbage truck. And so you would think over 80 years you would understand how a tariff works. Smarter people than Donald Trump, which is a good chunk of folks, CEOs of companies like Black & Decker, AutoZone, and Columbia have gone on the record to say if Donald Trump goes forward with this plan, they will simply have to raise prices and pass it on to you. Donald Trump saying China will pay for those tariffs the same way Mexico paid for the wall that he never built. It's not going to happen. So look, some of you in here, and they're in our neighbors, they're our family members, brothers, independents and Republicans. The Republican Party added much to this country over the years. When they talked about freedom, they meant it. That's not who Donald Trump is. Turns out when he talks about freedom, it means the freedom to invade your doctor's office, and freedom to invade your bedroom, freedom to tell you what books to read or what movies to watch. And I keep saying this, and I've now seen this as true across the country. I thought it was just a Minnesota euphemism, that the world works best when people just mind their own damn business. The world looks really good. You don't need my help choosing books. You don't need my help choosing who you marry. You don't need my help choosing your doctor and the decisions they make. And you certainly don't want Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to do it. When Kamala Harris and I talk about freedom, we mean the freedom for you, not politicians, to make those personal decisions. So look. You saw it at the convention in Chicago. We talked about freedom a lot. We took back freedom. We took back family. We took back the damn flag. Because I'll tell you what, I'll be damned if I'll fly an American flag with some man's picture pasted on it or some, that's not how we do things. And for Pennsylvania, this was just me personally. We got freedom, we got the family, we took back the flag. I took football just because we want to, because we're taking that one too. Look, freedom means a lot of things, but it's very personal. Freedom for our seniors to retire with dignity, to collect Social Security and Medicare. That's freedom. Freedom to be able to send your children to school without worrying they'll be shot dead in the hall. That's freedom. And I say this, I'm a 24-year veteran, I am a hunter, and I am a gun owner. Kamala is a gun owner. We know and have always in our lives upheld the Second Amendment. But we also know upholding our first responsibility is the safety of our children. And you can do both. And you can do both. We got a mixed group here. I'm gonna wind this thing down talking to the guys in this room as you think about this and those undecided voters that might be out there. Literally, think about the women in your lives who you love. Spouse, partner, daughters, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, neighbors, whatever. Think of those women who are in your lives. This election literally is about their lives. Their lives are at stake in this election. Donald Trump appointed those Supreme Court justices who lied about supporting Roe versus Wade and the protection of bodily sovereignty, who went on to overturn Roe versus Wade, and Donald Trump says he's glad he did it. I'm proud of that. What he's bragging about is those women you're thinking about right now have fewer rights than their mothers or their grandmothers had. That's what he did. Now 20 states have the Trump abortion ban. Last night, Donald Trump said that if you're a woman, he'll be your protector. And he also said this. Imagine that this was a moment of self-reflection for him. He says, I know a lot of people don't like that. Oh, no shit, they don't like it. But here's the scary part, people, because there's no excuse for not hearing this, because he said it. He said, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. That's how this guy's lived his life. That's why he was on the Access Hollywood tape, and that's why he ended up in court, because that's what he thinks about it. Women turned away now because of what he's doing from emergency rooms to get basic care, having miscarriages in parking lots, survivors of rape and incest being forced to carry their attacker's child. Those are the types of things. Fertility clinics have even turned couples away. I said this is personally on this. This idea that there would be no autonomy for you to make decisions about your body. Now you can't even decide if you want to have a family. For Gwen and I, we went through fertility treatment for years. If you've been through this, it's hellish to try and do it. You know somebody who has. The idea, we finally able to have that beautiful little girl. How in God's name are we willing to let some politician tell, I'll be damned if I'll let them tell anybody in this country if they can have a child. So look. Kamala's made it clear, we will pass a bill to protect reproductive freedom, and she'll sign it into law. Folks, it's this simple. We trust women. We trust women to make their own decisions. We trust them to go to their doctors. We trust them to make these types of decisions. So across the country, I have to say, this feeling of women right now in this, every age and every party, here's what's going to happen on Tuesday. They are going to send a loud and clear message to Donald Trump on November 5th. They're going to send that message whether he likes it or not. So look, Kamala says we're not going back, and we're not. I'm here today on behalf of the Vice President. I'm here on behalf of folks across this country, humbly asking for your vote. We've got to asking for your vote. 5 days. 5 days. We know momentum's on our side. We know momentum's on our side, but elections are won in this 120-hour window, so we're not taking anything for granted. So this is the 120-hour pep talks, folks. This game is tied, and it's tied in Pennsylvania. 2 minutes left on the clock, but we've got the damn ball. That's what's happening now. We got the best quarterback. We got the best quarterback in Kamala Harris, and I'm going to say that here. We may be a little tired. We'll find time to sleep when we're dead, but right now, we got the best team, which is you in this room. We got the best team. In this state and in Bucks County, 1 or 2 votes per precinct could not only swing the election in Pennsylvania, but for the entire country. The privilege and the responsibility to the folks in this room, it is not hyperbole to say this presidential election could run right through Local 13 today. The folks in this room going out, getting people to vote, getting others to be in, and making sure that we can do it. Because you're going to have a chance in your life. You're going to be sitting on that porch in that rocking chair, and there's going to be a little one at your knee or something asking, what did you do back in 2024 to protect the democracy? And your answer is going to be every damn thing we could. Every damn thing we could. Get your ballot in. Get your ballot in, drop it in the mailbox, make a plan to vote November 5th, visit iwillvote.com/PA to get that done. And this is as simple as this, folks. The privilege that could only be dreamed about by billions of people around the world to gather on a beautiful day with your neighbors, with your friends, with your coworkers to determine what our future will look like. We're here because we believe in America. We believe in this country. Our hopes and dreams are here today. We have to go out and fight for this thing, because I'll tell you what, the Vice President's right when she says this. When we fight, we win. Now for the next 5 days. When we vote, we win. Pennsylvania, win this thing for America. Let's go. Thank you all.